Right, on this one we are doing the Fox Camolite Barrow Organiser. This is the standard one. I'll give you the sizes and everything in a little while, and all the dimensions and the different dividers that come with it. I'm going to show you how I've loaded it. These are like a TARDIS. If you buy one of these, you're going to have enough room for your kit. And luckily, when I went to buy this, my mate Chez, who owns a tackle shop, turned around and said, he said if I was you, knowing he knows how I fish, he turned around and told me to get the standard one, so I was going to get the large. I'm pleased I went with the standard one now. It suits me perfect. But if you carry more tackle than me, or you're not quite as organised as how I am inside this, which you'll see in a minute, then the large might be better for you. But there's one to suit basically everybody. This one or the large. There's only £10 I think difference between them. Again, I'll come into that a little bit later. So basically you've got a strap at the front, you've got a velcro one at the back which can hook around the front of your barrow, you've got a handle each side here and here, and then you've got your padded carrier strap here which can be taken off. I think I'm going to take mine off. I usually take my straps off. It's in the Fox camo pattern. You got one main zip around the top, that's it. There's no pockets, there's no different pouches and bits and pieces all cluttered up. It's just a nice oblong shape, fits on the barrow lovely, which is what I like. Cubism I call it. I like everything to fit. I like to fill the space and keep it as compact as possible, because my barrow can get overloaded, but I do go for quite a long time, 3-4 days at a time, and I carry everything in one trip. You've also got on the top here, you've got this bit like a hard top for a bivvy table, so that is great. I have used it as that, but 9 times out of 10 what I tend to do is take out the kit I need, because I've got it in my bivvy set how I want it, and I just slide this under the head end of my bed out of the way with bits and pieces in that I might need but don't need them very often. I found when you put stuff on top it's great, but if you're leaving stuff in, then when you've got stuff on top you want to get inside, you've got to take it off to get in, which isn't a big problem. But if you just store an odd thing on there like a head torch and a power pack and say your tackle box, it's only a couple of things to take off to go inside. But again, it can suit everybody. Use as a tabletop, slide it under the bed out of the way. For me, I just slide it under the bed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've got in it, and I'll show you each pouch as well, because I've done things before and people say they like to know the in-depth of how I do it and how I use it. So this is going to take a little while, because there's a lot in here, because I've spent hours, and I mean hours, packing this in different ways, trying to make everything fit in, so everything I need, because I take everything every time, because I fish lots of different lakes, and I need everything for every situation I'm going to. If you was just going to a lake and you're just going to go that day, you know exactly what you're doing, you know exactly where you're fishing, you know the type of bottom it is, you know you're going to be, if you say PVA bags, you can take just your kit for that, but I don't know until I get there half the time, so I take everything every time, so I need to get it compact into here. So when you first open the lid, you can see on the top you've got a big zip pocket, mesh pocket here, and then you've got 2 sort of smaller ones here. So these are sort of half the size of this. In here I keep a few. I've got my black book in there which I map out all my swims, so you know your wraps, your weeds, your weed beds, your gravels, your trees, you know all those sort of things that you can, when you're going to swim, I like to map it out. So that keeps in there with a pen and a pencil. I've got a spare pair of scissors, a spare hat, because I've got a bald head and it does get cold, and I do tend to leave my hats somewhere and lose them quite a bit. In here I've got a few accessories and bits and pieces in here. You can put whatever you want in there. Nice zips, nice and free running. So that's that. Now I don't know if you can see that, look, that is packed. There's a lot of the Aquos, let's get that strap out of the way. There's a lot of the Aquos stuff in here, so you get with it loads of different dividers, which again I'll tell you about in a moment. I've only literally got 2 dividers in, so that's probably why this front is a little bit bulgy here, because of how I've got it packed, but it suits me. The more dividers you put in, the more stable this becomes. It's fairly stable anyway, it's quite hard sides, but I've only got 2 dividers in because of what I've got in here. So what I'm going to do is I'll start on the front. So I've got my Fox rig board and that sort of thing on the top. And then I've got one of these Aquos pouches in here. In here I've got my glasses and my sunglasses and my survival knife to open, well, I call it my tin opener, it just opens tins. And then down the bottom I have another Aquos pouch that has got all my extra alarm bits and butt rests and all the quick systems all in that, so they're all there. In this one I've got my 2 head torches and power lead for the head torch. I've got a battery one and a rechargeable one, so I'm covered for both. Then I've got the medium edges Fox tackle box, got my tray, and then I've got a Camolite bag here. In here I've got, actually I'm pretty certain there's bivvy lights. Yeah, I've got 2 bivvy lights, my spare outdoor light. I've got a spare pair of headphones in there. I've got 2 charging leads and my remote. And then in the back one here, oh, this is the heavy one. I've got another Aquos system. I'll tell you more about these in a second. Really good. Well, I might do a separate video on them actually. Yeah, we'll do a separate video. So in here I've got my power pack, I've got my hook sharpener, my binoculars, my scales and my scales handle. And then in this one, another one again, I'll open this up, show you. I've got all my PVA. So in here I've got my nuggets, I've got my I can't remember what this is called, the armour mesh, that's it. Terrible, that sort of stuff. And then in this pouch in here I've got PVA string, PVA tape, I've got me PVA bag, Fox PVA bag system, rapid system, a mesh for I've lost it today, I just can't remember. Me mesh for when you're doing like mesh bags to hook onto your hook, and then I've got spare PVA bags in there and a spare bit of mesh for that system there. I'm not going to open it up and show you everything that's inside, but you get the gist. In this one I've got all my hook link materials, my lead core materials, my all my leaders, all that sort of stuff. Everything's in that one. Leaders, when I say leaders, I don't mean like you know, like safe zone leaders and them sort of things. I mean more the I can't think what they're called. I've got to do it because if not it'll bug me. My braided leaders for casting, shock leaders, that's what it's called, shock leaders. So yeah, and then underneath that in here I've got all my zig and floaters. So I've got a couple of adjustable zig floats and a couple of surface floats, which I hardly use, so I'm not really keen on surface fishing, and zig foam and bits and pieces. In the next one under there I've got spare lighters, I've got alcohol wipes for some of my camera equipment and bits and pieces, just all sorts of spares in there what I won't use very often. I've got my little night lights I clip onto my spod for spodding, and all those sort of just the bits and pieces you don't need very often, but when you do they're there. Now this one's got all my leaders. There's tubing, leaders, lead cores, all those sort of things. There's everything in there. Like I said, I go to lots of different lakes, so I have to cover every situation. Some places you go you can use the leaders, some places you go it has to be tubing, some places you can use lead core. I've got things in here new and old set up, so I can go, you know, I can pull out a lead system on lead core, or I can get new tubing out and set it up for helis, or I can get whatever I want to do. That covers every situation, different colours, different stuff. And then in here I've got my alarms, so I'll just show you in there. So that's how I've got it set up, basically the 2 dividers to make the 3 compartments, and that covers everything for me. So that's that inside there. Right, so that's it all unloaded. So I'm just going to show you how quick it is to pack away. Once you get used to how it goes in your bag and you get the system all sorted in your bag to what you want, that's the good thing about these, you can personalise them to how you want. This is done for me for how I fish. You might want the bigger one, you might like the small one, you might have more compartments, you might have less compartments, entirely your choice. That's the good thing about them, you can personalise them to you. Get your system, and then when it comes to packing away, which I'll show you in a second how quick it can be, but when you first get it, it's going to take you time to work it. If you're like me and like it organised, I tried loads of different ways. I tried different pouches, different angles, different dividers, different areas. It took me about 5 hours in total to organise, so take your time, get it right. Okay, so take two. So I went to put them in and drop some stuff, so we'll start again. So right, this is just to show you how quick, once you get your system sorted, how you can put it together. So we'll go again. Job done. That was better second time round, and I'm still getting used to it, and there may be an odd couple of changes, but I'm fairly happy how it is. And so yeah, definitely worth a look. So I'll tell you a bit more about the prices and sizes and all that now. So I'm gonna have to read this because I won't remember it all. So with this, on the dividers, internal dividers, you get one extra large, 3 large, 3 medium and 2 small dividers. The size is 58 centimeters by 36 centimeters by 28 centimeters, and it's a 37 litre capacity. The extra, or the bigger version of this, you get 1 extra large, 4 large, 3 middle, medium and 3 small dividers. And the dimensions on that are 68 centimeters by 39 by 29 centimeters, and it's a 55 litre capacity. Now this one is the standard size, and it's £109.99, and the bigger one is £19.99. So there's not much in them, but the other one is a bit bigger. The only problem I would have is if I have a bigger one, I'll just fill it with more shit. So what will probably the problem is, it will be too heavy for me to lift. But this ain't too bad at all. I can sort of pick this up quite easily. It's full of stuff, and it's nice and light. It doesn't, it's not too bad at all. So I can throw that on and off the barrow to suit what I need. But definitely, if you're in the market for a new bag, I would go and have a look at these. They are awesome bit of kit, and like I say, they're a bit of a TARDIS. That the amount of kit you can get in them is unreal. And if you're a sort of person that likes to travel, you could get everything in this and use this as a bivvy table. I love things that do 2 jobs. One thing that do 2 jobs is brilliant. So you've got a bag and a bivvy table. So yeah, pop in a store near you and have a look at them.